And good morning. Welcome to Tuesday. So here's another day with Delenn. We are having ourselves a grand old time. Today I'm going to get back into a little bit more building. I have had a good weekend this weekend at my daughter's Cub Scout camp. So I have about as much idea what's going on right now in the game as you do. So yeah. That's where we're at. You can see there's a big hole over there. That's where we've been a few times. There's another entrance to it down there, and a third entrance over there, and a fourth one over there. Now, while I will probably need to do some deep slate mining this week for materials, we're going to need it. I think today is probably one of those days where we do a little bit of correction and further building on the main building to be able to get to a point where we can actually start putting the roof on. Yes, putting the roof on, and then we can move on from there. So first things first, let's just turn on the reference so you guys can see where I'm at, what I was working on. So there's the window there. I was going to look at the end window here, but what I'm actually going to do is estimate the roof line and then not worry too much about the window itself right now. And the reason for that is because I really want to get the outside of the building done rather than worrying too much of the ends. The shape of this sucker going. That's where we are at today. Oh, and it looks like I don't have. So now I have not updated to the latest and greatest. What do you call it yet? The latest and greatest OBS. I don't think it's quite ready for You do not have issues? Oh. And Zip to Us left me a gift. Ah! Zip rocks. Yay! So if you guys were here last week, particularly on Thursday, you will notice that what I did was a really big boo-boo. And I accidentally turned all of my moss blocks into the roof tile blocks rather than just some of them. So while trying to complete this roof, I screwed up and put all of it in there so that I could not duplicate. So let's put this night away. Good morning, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. Sorry for missing you coming in. Looks like my bot needs to be picked. I don't think I actually... looks like I actually may not have shut down my OBS and stuff since last Thursday, running all weekend. Which is great, but sometimes it actually has some hiccups. So we'll just see how well it goes. If it needs to be rebooted, we'll do it. But see what goes. It didn't actually say hello, which was kind of rude. How dare you, Botter Oswind? Okay, so I'm going to leave those 7 in there. That allows me to make 7 more mistakes. Pick this one and some bone meal. Now, I've got the shears anyway, so what I'm just going to do is run out here and see if the server's been running for a while. Yeah, I have a couple of bits of vine I can use. That's what I was doing, was I was getting stuck with the rather ridiculously slow growth, by necessity I suppose, of the vines to be able to make the blocks, but this is like 1 vine per block. So because it's a lot easier to bone meal the moss blocks, I prefer to do it that way. I'll just let that keep on going. For now, I will take them off when we're done our project. But for now, it's kind of nice not to have everything go a little crazy on us. I don't have it over here because I don't have torches way out there, so if we're here a little bit late, we're gonna get friends. Alrighty. This. There. That will do. And the trick to this one is just putting an extra 3, 4. It doesn't actually fill out the whole space when you bone meal the whole thing, but I like to try and build it a large platform, fairly large one for it to building on. So just so that oh, I didn't bring all the rest of it. Just so that it has space to convert without spilling over the edges. Spills over the... Forgot about that. If it spills over the edges, then it'll actually turn the ground into moss and I have to change it up. That's part of why it's 1 block off the ground. I discovered a few spots where it was turning the top layer into moss, all well and good, but the underneath layer... Too far, whatever. The underneath layer has some spaghetti caving in it, and I was finding holes that I had not successfully filled, but I had been lighting up. So, yeah. And one more. We're also going to get a bunch of stuff that we don't need at this time, but would rather have later, so I think it's all good. Bone meal. This is a rather inexpensive process. Let's go. Roink. See, we got a lot. That's kind of handy. I can probably do... Let's just not mess with that. Out ones that I need. Fill up some of the holes. And yeah. Diggy. Diggy. And this will give us a lot more brick, a lot faster, as you can see, than waiting for those ridiculous vines to go. With the side effect that we get carpet for hiding lighting underneath later. So I think that's a win-win all around. Okay, I should have kept those other blocks. Well, yes. What I had done is basically I did one of these runs, you know, tons of holes, and then I went and used all of it to become dirt, which is or not dirt, sorry, moss and bricks. That's what my oops was. So yeah, let's hope I can figure it out differently. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm gonna put the brick moss in the center now. This, and then fill in the rest. Oh, oops. Me and efficiency tools don't always like each other. All right. I'm not flying anywhere right now. Let's just close that up and rinse and repeat. Okay, because I can probably handle. I want to go over the edge. Okay, I think it's as far as I'm going to risk. All right. Here we go again. So although I was a teensy bit late this morning, actually I have a legit reason for it this time, which is unusual. Not the reason being unusual, but the legitness of it. But I was actually watching a really interesting show last night, more of a mind or thought experiment vlog kind of thing, from a guy from a YouTube channel called Technology Connections. And usually he talks to you about rather literally technology. But last night's sort of vlog type of conversation he was having was actually more about his thoughts on time, and it turns out his are a lot like mine. Now, it's not a sort of scientific discussion, it's just more of a conversation on digital clocks versus analog clocks, and which ones are more effective for him. So, coming out of that, basically, it just turns out for him that he thinks about analog clocks in a way that that it's kind of like a computer's progress bar. Okay, so what he does is he thinks about them in such a way that it's more like watching time go by, I guess you could say. So you're looking at so he's looking more at watching the clock is kind of when you're looking for how much time do you have to do something, or how much time till an event is over, or something like that. He's sort of subconsciously calculating it in a way almost like as I said, like a progress bar, or as I was saying to my husband last night, kind of like a wedge. Now, my husband was saying, our Fantastic Shot Clocks was saying that to him, the wedges are kind of like something you give up after you're done elementary school, you know, or even before that. That's how you teach kids to read an analog clock. But by the time you're an adult, it just becomes second nature. You don't use the wedges anymore, and I think we do, but I just don't think that we use them quite as consciously as we used to. Oops. And what I mean by that is that I can look at a clock and see, oh, hey, it's like 30 minutes, halfway around the clock. Fair. But if I've got to do something in, say, 25 minutes or whatever, I can see as the minute hand goes around the clock that the size of the progress bar space left until whatever the important point is gets closer and closer, like, or smaller and smaller. It's kind of like having an invisible target on the spot you need in the hour, and then just watching the progress get closer and closer to that point. In a way, it's also kind of like a combination lock, or, you know, a locker or something, where when you do the first code, it's a very loose concept because you know you've got a couple more to go, and then when you do the second number correctly, you're far closer to the end. But then when you're doing the third number, you frequently have to like slow down as you get towards where the value you need is. So, in a way, it's almost like you're, I guess, not anticipating it. Well, maybe. but getting a bit closer to the value you need or the spot you need on your time clock. So I figured I would try an experiment myself. We know on this channel that Delenn runs on a version of DST, known as Delenn Standard Time, which basically means I'm usually late to things. Sometimes I have legit excuses, sometimes I don't. And so, looking at whether or not Delenn Standard Time would be either less of a thing, or potentially whether the size of the Delenn Standard Time deviation would be any smaller if I used an analog clock instead of a digital one. And it hadn't occurred to me that when I'm in the kitchen in our house, we have an analog clock next to our dinner table, and it annoys me that our daughter, repeatedly when you tell her you got to be done by such and such a time, she looks over her shoulder to try and find the nearest digital clock, which is the one on the microwave or the stove. And it kind of bugs me because I'm like, why can't you read another clock? Because I know they taught it in school, but she finds it more comfortable to read the digital clock. And so I was wondering, okay, well for me, because that's bugging me, obviously I find it more useful to read an analog clock because of that progress bar concept. But then if that's the case, I was still wearing a digital watch. Like it's a digital face watch. I got an Apple Watch, so I was using a face that had a digital clock on it. And I'm trying a bit of an experiment now to see whether or not my time perception is altered in any notable way by an analog face instead. Also, we've talked about putting an analog clock in the bedroom to see if that helps me at all with the getting up in the morning part, rather than just the digital one. It'll be interesting to see where that goes, and whether or not that actually helps. I think part of it is, although the math on a digital clock, you know, how much time is left or whatever, is simple, I think part of it is some bit of me doesn't want to do that math every single time I need to know. Like every single time I look up to try and find out what time it is. So for my personal learning style, the perception of these, I guess, the stopwatch progress bar counting down, like you'll see some digital stopwatches, the face will turn, or the remaining portion of the face will turn red as you get closer and closer to your finish. And so I was just kind of wondering, okay, well maybe that perception, like because it's easier for me to just look and know, or look and get an impression of that, see if that's any easier for me to figure out, rather than having to mentally do the math each time. Some people just know, like I can convert just fine. So, you know, if it's like say it's like 23 minutes past the hour, so I know that it's 37 minutes left. However, my brain has to do that math every time. Whereas if I was looking at it in a wedge shape, I don't even really care what the numbers are. Right? I just don't care. I just know that pressure is increasing, like a deadline's getting closer, the farther through that sort of progress effect. So we'll just see how it goes. But I have not updated the timer that I use on stream. That's something I'm actually going to look into, so I'm kind of curious if I could just get it to be a countdown ring. But we'll see. Because OBS has a lot of great features, but there's a lot that's built in. There's a lot that's not built in and is available via plugins. And when you do things via plugins, that's great, but it also means that there's often more complicated steps to make something happen. So, more complicated steps to make something happen. Whereas some of the new competitors to OBS coming out are a bit more CPU heavy, and GPU heavy, but they have some of these features that are like plugins built in and can intuitively do some of the things that an OBS plugin multiple steps to do. Whereas on new ones like Prism, for example, some of these features are just it's built in, and it doesn't take 3 steps to do it. You just all on one screen and off you go. we'll just see. I don't know if I'm going to play with Prism or not. It's a little bit of a heavy thing, and I'm not really sure if I really want to do all of the settings of my stream over again. But I've also been toying with idea for quite some time and keep shelving it. But toying with the idea of potentially setting up a new setup or layout specifically designed for Lego, or Lego streams potentially, but YouTube streams. That might be an interesting opportunity to test something like Prism. That does not affect, actually, thank you very much, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. That does not affect the stream community goal that we're looking at right now. That community goal is toward having an extra stream, like outside my usual schedule, that would be just building the Hogwarts, the Dumbledore's office for this year, building it end to end, and we're talking about 600 pieces to go. There'll be one stream that would just go till that was built. I mean, obviously we'll have stretches and water breaks and stuff like that, but it would just be one end the other with a bunch of just chatting over top of the whole thing. So, I think I've got, I don't remember how many days, but we've got about 19 days left and we're 20% of the way there. So, maybe we'll get there, maybe we won't. But it'd be kind of fun to do. And it's one of those ones I've talked about. I might do it anyway if we don't make it on Twitch. That's only because I'm itching to do one. I'm still on the fence about that though, because given the amount of time I have or have not been spending on the Twitch, like the grind for the Twitch stream to be more progress, then I don't know if I actually would be willing to do a whole complete setup. Again, from scratch now, be able to do these other things, but yeah, that's where my head's at these days. We had fun this weekend though. Most of the kids at my Cub Scout group that I lead for my daughter have no idea, for good reason, what Twitch is. They have absolutely no clue. And I kind of like that. Not that it's a release or escape or anything silly like that, but they're like, well, I mean, the youngest ones we had there were beavers, and they are 5 years old. And older ones we had were up to 10 years old. And really, I'm glad they had no clue, simply because even with the family friendly tag, I really don't think they should be spending their time on the computer watching Twitch. But that said, some of their parents were quite, I guess, nerdy or geeky or whatever, and they knew what was going on. They didn't know my channel, and I didn't tell them who I was. It's up to them to find out. But it's the kind of thing that would not have surprised me if the kids get exposed a little earlier than some others, just because their parents will be watching anyways. Kids have an incredibly horrible habit of shoulder surfing. Not just mine, so I found out. There's some stuff that some of the other parents were like, yeah, I can't really watch that around my kids because they will be guaranteed to come watch and it may or may not be appropriate. Or there might be things that are on the surface appropriate, but when the kids start asking questions, you start to realize that, yeah, their understanding of it is limited enough that they don't get the references or the fact that they're not seeing innuendo doesn't necessarily make it safe, because they may see something that we don't even realize they're thinking about. Yeah. Anyhow, I have 3, 4, 4.5, 4 2/3 block stacks of stuff, so I'm probably actually just gonna go over and get done. But I really don't need that much right now. Look at this mess. And we don't have mobs spawning on top of it. Not looking. Get the roof finished off and get back into the sandstone work. Where are we here? Half-ish. Okay. Do I have smooth sandstone here? I do. Stairs, probably not. Put the dirt away, that'll help. But this build is it's kind of amazing to me how many stairs it takes to get it going. Being Tuesday and being that I'm building, it's a bit of a quieter place today, and that's totally cool because it lets me sort of ramble on and think out loud. That's kind of refreshing sometimes. I think this part of the wall might be wrong. I've got an even build out back. Oh, no, it's 3 blocks. Odd. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6. Okay, that is odd. We're good. Good. Figure out how to correctly mirror this side by looking at its picture, and then get ourselves back up. This one, right? We'll do this up top, and I can't work my way down. I did that for a second. Okay, rain delay. And 2. I'm gonna go. Oh. But and put on the inside. You. Color. Not what I want. Solid block above this. Oh, that's one way to do it. There's going. On the corner. Oops. Great. This time. Road's a little off today, and I think it's just because of all the campfire smoke I had on the weekend. Not to mention that our province is getting smoke from wildfires from the province next door. Never a joy. I'd have to extend the one on the right just to measure across. Wow, I can't control my jumps well today. Oof. Okay. As far as streams go, this is a Monday kind of day. I also realized I have a camera, and I keep forgetting about that because that's sort of a new addition. And that should be brick. Solid. This corner is always going to be a challenge. I can get. Ah, that didn't work. Go. Try and get our top rolling. Okay, so something didn't work quite right. This should be the middle for this tall. It's not quite center. So one more block to the left. Whole wall is messed up by one. On the other hand, if I look down here, that part's right, but I had to move a lot of this over by one. First plate. I can always move this long. I messed up. Okay. Oh, that's right. Try again. That makes it even though, which is kind of disturbing. It can be even. 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. T. Okay, I should be over by 1. Darn it. I thought I had this measured well on the ground. I guess I didn't. I forgot to account for the jog on this side. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 7, 5, 7. But yeah, with the one in the middle, okay. There's the downstairs. That's part of the problem right there. You can go. That way. That work out right. Yes. That was... All right. Head down. Side, right side, right side. Right. Here's. Yep, got it. Yep, wrong one. Wrong one. I'm gonna have to pull part of this out the window, but that should be. Yep. Got our roof line. That's the key. That's the key. We got the roof line. Now, if we are to be odd, the picture suggests, we have 5 rows of glass in the center here. Let's see if I can actually make that work. Actually, while I'm here, it's going to bug me, so let's get the other hole. Other hole being the other roof. Where did I put those blocks? Bricks. Go. Oh. There. That's better. Get this finished. I can leave that part alone for a bit. At least from the outside. I haven't actually looked at the inside to see if I'm happy with it. I wanted to cover up some of the exposed stone inside, or at least decorate it up a bit, possibly more fences, but I'm not sure if I want to or not. I haven't got it. Jump. Whee! Crash. Back in here. Oh, it's not bad. Got the double fencing. Get that part done. Done. Okay. Bits. Here. Carpet. There. Moss. Great. Get a bit of, for now. Random junk in, but for now, I guess. Might be nice. Okay, so I guess it's time to take a look, see what we've got going for the window. This might help. Ah! Here's a tiny little vent window type thing up top. I don't know if we're going to get that in our version. A lot of it has to do with seeing how the layout works well for us. Now, do I have glass here? Did I leave it? Or did I turn it to the other building? Some. My shulker monster used to be organized, and now it's getting to be not organized. Yeah. It is what it is, I suppose. What's that? Okay. But like dirt and stone and whatever in like different places. Dirt can go. Okay, windows. Windows. Can I do it? Looking at that, I think I might need to get back to the walls routine. Sort of like I did on the sides. I had walls, and then kind of faked out the top by putting up the stairs. Serious kind of. The frustrating part about the stairs here is they don't actually connect to the windows. So this is why this one has a weird looking gap, is because otherwise all that would fit in there is just a stick of glass. Kind of pointless to put that in. At least 4 high. I'm gonna have to take a look at the other side and see if I can guess. Stairs, no. Would help if I actually bring the supplies I'm talking about. That's a stone box. Stairs. Have any walls? I think that's 4. I don't have any walls. Really? I do. Good. Okay. 35 will get started. Now the other thing about this picture, unfortunately, is we're not going to be able to get in between the panes. That's just not a possibility here. So I'm just looking to see what can I do that will, to my taste, approximate the whole thing. So I'm to put window pane 1. Oh, there it is, all floaty. 2, 4, and 5. A wall out here. Same on this side. Zoom out. Just a little. Apart from the fact that, probably due to this mushroom bend, it does not look even. I know I've got an extra chunk of wall in here. Mushroom bend bit. I really don't like this mushroom bend. I may have to just pull it off altogether. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. It's supposed to approximate the bit that sticks out, but it's really weird. I just cut that off altogether. In any case, we've got straight wall. Yeah, I think gotta go. Okay, anyways, straight wall. Got 2. Count. Approximately 1. Straight wall, 1, 2. Here's the vertical. Okay, so we're doing good. Doesn't make sense, but looks good enough for me. Okay. This one out. That one. And replace it with some stairs. Really? Okay, there we go. And Ender thing, where are you? Underground. Aha! You can stay there. Okay. Then the height compared to the side pieces. Pardon my... Also, their top is far more vertical than mine. Not gonna worry about it. I think it's supposed to match the arch on the inside, which, as you can see, I've done something a little different with. Oh. I'm trying to decide what I want to do. First thing I can do, I'll start with. I can always chop it out. So, put in some sandstone as far as I have, at least. Close. Maybe. Three. Here. Fence. Walls. There's sometimes where I can sort of guesstimate half decent scale compared to what's on the picture, and other times I have to sort of fake it out. So the far tower is definitely not to scale, and a lot of the side stuff is not to scale. So I'm just sort of, I guess, going with whatever I decide I like. That's really all it takes. I mean, one thing that sort of gives me a pass is that this is based on. Although it's based on a real church, I'm not here to build the real church exactly. This is loosely referencing a mystery character that I enjoy. So I don't think I need to fuss over much about precise dimensions, because the church I'm using as a reference template was just a filming location for a version of the show, or of the book, which means that like in a book, everybody can imagine it how they want to imagine it, which means I can do what I want. That sounds snarky, but the point is still made one way or the other. Alrighty, now how close are we? I think. Okay, that's not bad. So I can probably throw in some walls, stairs, see. I'll have holes to fill. Almost at the right level to start putting in stairs. I think I will go and grab the actual, like the extra solid blocks so I don't have to fill in the holes later. Just because they're a bit of a pain. Not that. My one stack ought to do it. Seems that for once these things are actually lasting better than I thought. Or okay. Or put the glass in. That looks great. Okay, so that's not quite right because we're arching stairs. Actually, maybe I'll start where I am and just throwing in the stairs, because in essence what's going to happen is it's going to end up as a mirror of the roof line up top, just by Minecraft being Minecraft. So I think I'll just have to go with it from where we are. Then I'll take out the little window at the top after. Huh. Oh, nope, not this one. Oh, that's a weird place for it to stand. That one went. Alright. There's some inverted stairs. There. That's back to the other side. Okay, I think that will work, but what I'm going to do is get both sides down and accentuate by one more sandstone block in there. Okay. Keep in mind, this is my second night up here, I think. Also the first? I'm not sure. Try it. There we go. Yes. Yes. Okay. And this top one, I think I can just be dunking a vent by just purely putting walls in there. Okay. And where's the stairs? Okay. No problem. Thanks for dropping by, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. I always appreciate you spoil me when you're able to be here. No concerns whatsoever. Oh, not that one. That'll work. Alrighty. Now I just need to put glass to make myself... Ah! Perfect timing. So, what we're going to do is we're going to head to the Be Right Back screen and then over to Lego, just briefly. Alright, so you get yourselves a 5-minute break. And we'll just count ourselves down and build a couple of pieces here. So today we're working on the Hogwarts Magic Trunk. That's at the top of the screen there. And sorry for the glare. We're trying to get the shading to cooperate. But being in space. Well, we'll go with that for now. So we're building characters at the moment. Then they went to McGonagall. Got a lovely little face on. Hat on. I think they're smiling because she's smiling at the start of the term. Tell kids. Doesn't stay that way. Got a sorting hat. Here's McGonagall's hat. This one is actually kind of neat. But I don't know how well you can see this camera. It's got hair attached, so which is interesting coloring note is that this is more the Maggie Smith hair color. If you take a look at original description and Roland's notes and Jim Kay's drawings, that McGonagall is actually quite dark haired, but Maggie Smith used to A, wear a wig if they could possibly manage it, and or B, dye her hair. So can't blame her. And to be honest with you, I think this is probably my favorite McGonagall character I've got so far. I'm a huge fan of the way Maggie Smith plays the character, but also that's also my favorite character. Yeah. I'll just set her off to the side with the students. And we'll move on. So now they've got a sporting hat. We just connected a couple of circles together. And then put round seat on top. Putting there along with our ever grumpy sorting hat. Set those bottleneck. Oh yes, excellent. So we're just going to start. I have not done a whole lot of knowing in this particular set, as I mentioned last time. Knowing being sorting. That when I first open these bags, once you get through the characters and excess heads and all that jazz, have some extra skill to choose from, as you can buy one of these. That there really is not a lot of sorting to be done. I mean, as in I can just take a file, and all, and just put it right back. So. Now I do have other students I can put into this diorama later on, and I'm always short on heads and stuff, so I have no problem with all those extras. Okay, let's build something. There's a thing that looks like in this picture, we're going to be having this a fireplace start. We've got logs. It's been an interesting fire by just rather than having flames, they probably because the base for flames. Wrong on that one. Dropping thing. This bit, at some point, I don't even know. I will be like chopped out playlist of Lego bits. As I mentioned quite a while back, the Lego stuff for some reason that did not fit. But for some reason, get attention. Rest of my VODs, partly because they're VODs, not. Oops. And every time I have Lego in the title, I get views for the first few seconds. Of course, understandably, nobody stays more than 30 seconds. But it's just an interesting difference that I've noted, so I'm just try chopping out some build steps. The audio. Built. See if I can high speed it. That's a big learning curve and anything. So out. And that's part of why it's in this inevitable someday list. Someday I'm hoping it'll be relatively, but always. Can't put down the thread of instructions. Have it. ourselves a small fireplace. Alright. And back to wow. I also just realized that I had not moved my microphone for that, so there is a possibility there could be some distinct sound issues during that bit. Because I'm just having one of those days. Alrighty. Doop-doo. Ouch. Oh, lovely. Go away. Forgot these guys can do that. Come back here, you monster. Why did you set me on fire? That's so rude. So rude. Interesting. But rude. I just got on there. Oh well. Didn't die. Alrighty then. Get these windows in. I'm fairly happy with this end window for now, actually. Of course, it doesn't connect properly to the stairs, so it's going to look kind of weird in the last few levels. But I'm hoping I can get away with it. Having one more pane. Oh, no, maybe not. So that's as far as we can go. Is this top part just a stick. And that looks weirder than it's worth, I think. I don't know. Pardon me, if I can ever get like a connected textures thing that would deal with glass, I'd be happy. Even if it's just a mod for me. But yeah. Okay, so window down. Which means that's the end of the building there. Now we're on to the side. And the side on this side appears to be a little smoother than it was built on the other side, so we won't be using as much regular sandstone there. Should be more of the smooth stuff. Now that we've moved everything, I'm sure these are wrong, but we'll get to it when we get to it. I'm going to take a quick boo and see what I can find for that side of the building. Okay. Pink. Here we go. Oh, that's the wrong one. Wrong one. We'll go with this piece. That will do the trick. Okay. So, the picture that you guys would be on the window that we just built would be on the right hand end, and you can see it sort of sticks out. Clearly, I'm having a problem with that whole stick out business. I might just leave it at that point. Now down here, it juts in one, and I had gone ahead and and put in a jut here, but thankfully it's one too deep, which is nice because the walls were all messed up. Right? This bit's going to bug me. Means unused. Okay. That's the wrong tool, but I don't care. There we go. All right. And let's throw the gray one in on the corner. Sure. I have a corner. All right. Where is? Let's get the wool. Please, thank you. We have enough for the right. No, stop doing that. You see an entire wool farm in the background, but I only have with me the right number. Okay. There, alright. sides. This whole corner is wrong anyways. I think it should come out here. So we'll see where that goes. That's the outside of the building. Means approximately opposite the second window. Here's the weird bit. Okay, so you can kind of see we've got a whole bunch of pictures that up at the bottom. Back to this one. We're looking at the outside of the building, where the picture was, like on the end. If you flip to the other side of the building, where the window's on the left, get a really weird, just look like this. Where we don't actually see all of that. I don't even know why these pictures are, I don't know, it's something that... Okay, so if I go around this part of the building, but I poorly approximated the two windows below. I think I might actually just pop out a little. Where did I put the box? That just looks weird to me. So, dunk. There we go. Okay. So we've got the two windows on the side there. And then next one appears to be all grayed out or blocked or whatever, but I'm going to go with this window here. And it's a little bit over from the pillar. So that's just, partly it's Minecraft for you, and partly just the way the pillars stick out on the building. Very, very inconsistent. Yeah, if I was to actually take a look at this whole long building, there's a chance that I may have miscounted. I don't think so, because you can see where the upper window came in, just on the far right hand side of that screen just a little bit. So this would be a frosted window. Rather than being 4, we had to go with an artistic choice of 3, just to make, or sorry, rather than 3 being, went with an artistic choice of 4 just to make it work. And I ditched the arch just because that arch is so flat, I can't replicate it in Minecraft successfully. So yeah, there you go. That one. But because it's frosted out there, I may at some point switch this to stained glass. I haven't really decided. I have no real need to change it out. And I will probably need to change the upper row of mushroom stems along the way, but that's showing a lot of damage to the building. Yeah. That's where we're at. But do I have stems? Yes, I have stems. In essence, the one on the right only comes part way up. This one. And then would have a pair on the top. Super jump if I can get this. Oh. That's upside down. Come on. Time. Oh, can't super jump. Okay. Oh, not lucky. Not lucky today. There we go. That's that one. That looks a bit better. And this one should probably be double wide, but once again, once I get into the double wide stuff, then we end up with like mushroom damage on the end looking all weird because it's only halfway in, not all the way out. I tried to recess on this side and it's not working too well, so yeah. There are things that I don't know about Minecraft abilities takes. Just an example of the fact that I'm learning on the buildings, but not necessarily skilled with them yet. There we go. Cool. Yep, yep. All right, so one of the challenges I'm running into with these pictures, you can sort of see a little bit in this one. It's kind of difficult, but at the bottom here, there's a hill. The whole thing is actually running down a slope, which means that I had to decide Minecraft does not do that. So I had to decide, do I want to bury part of the building at the front, or bury part of the back, or just pretend that the slope is there. And I'm deciding to go with the pretend the slope is not there element, but it also means I get to choose which bits and bobs of decoration I don't do. For that, because I mean, if I want the window to look tall and skinny, can't do a whole lot underneath it. But yeah, where is by these? Oh, put a footing on this one. Let's put a footing on this one. Could be the rougher stone. That looks weird. Not worth it. I like that look. In any case, mushroom back. I want it. It's actually not that bad. That corner. We're going to beat up the last night cycle. I think I'm going to take this one off. I make some more rough stairs. End of the building starts to be. I'm gonna need that many. There for now. I just had a ton of them. There. What do you make? Wraps around. I think that will do for amount things needed to stick out. The fact that I haven't wrapped the from outside the building, I think I'll just go with it. This anymore. Now this building became all regular or like smooth sandstone, so I'm swap stairs. Take a look at whether or not I need to add mushroom damage to the corners. That one again. This sticking out as far as it does. Kind of pointless. Pull it off entirely. See how that looks. Down. It looks odd without anything on the ends. I may have to put the mushroom corner back in for definition. Or I might actually turn it to bone corner. That worked. I don't know. I don't really get sandstone bricks, such thing. Definitely gonna take this part down. Put the stairs all the way across. I think I like the way that looks. Whether or not it's accurate, I don't care. I like the way that looks. Alright. So I need to get some sort of definition on the corners. But switching stone types isn't about. Into the window? Okay. That'd be about right. One taller, but was the bone block system and just not low. That yeah, that's different enough. Okay. My corner, like. A weird mishmash, but it'll do. You can see on the picture, the section over by this crazy window, a lot more weathered and beat up and whatever than the corner on this window. Not perfect, but I don't want like quartz white, so yeah, going with that. Close enough. So it's time for picture the other side. Doesn't really matter which of these two pictures I use. See at the bottom there that it disappears into the wall. As in, like, we don't have the stairs going all the way around because they vanish into the wall. I have to decide what I want to do with that. Is a door partway through. Go with the smooth blocks for now. All the way to where next. Here. Got the stuff wrong on this side. That's okay. I think I was trying to mark the window or I don't know. I tried to mark a door down there, but obviously I didn't mark it correctly up here. In any case. All the way across, and we can always deal with the stuff that sticks out extra. And I'm going with straight, plain smooth on this side. Also, except for the window, or sorry, the saying window when I mean door. Because you can see there's far less weathering on this side of the building. That's what I'm going with. Now they are recessed, but as we've seen, recess ain't so much. Not working. It's only a small lip. On the other hand, if I use the wall format like I did on this side, the stairs at the top, that might work. We've got a weird mix of odds and evens going on, so I don't know if I can replicate that. Let's see if I can make that work. Ballpark parks me here. I just want to make sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, more or less. Yeah, okay, great. Just, oh. Touch, Lord. That'll work. Basically, you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, for the most part. Back to the work. And then in behind, the roofing here, you can see in the picture, actually turned out to be darker, because it's older, I suspect, than the roofing on the long extension. So that's something I'm going to be having to go for a deep slate for. Whereas, must be cobbled deep slate, I think. But I'm not sure, because there's other stair formats that I could use, and I want to go with a stair roof, this one. Also noting that I'm totally aware with the other roof that I did, it's not mob-proofed yet. So the mob-proofing will probably make it a difference to how things work out. Well, clearly, it's just, I need to do that. I haven't decided whether I want to do buttons or whether I want to do something else to make it more accurate, more appropriate. Or do I have a door? No. No. I think I can throw in, at least on the first two, one more level move, or I have to get the going. Okay, so if I was to do glass, can I get 3 windows? This time's the critical end. It went one too far. Actually, it's this. Pick one. Two. Not going to give me enough border, actually. Let's move this one out. One. I think I'm going to fake it with the walls thing I talked about. Wall in here. There. Another one in here. Not going to work. Wall in there. One. Oh. Hmm. Oh well. Fine. What it is. Sure. Well, there. I guess we have walls today. Sure. Sure. I guess it gives it more of the recessed look and less of the actual wall look, which is not necessarily a problem. Put off. Now, given that the picture is very different than the reality, that's actually not horrid. Not great, but it's not horrid. So I need some more glass and some more. I need to figure out. I need to start wrapping this top part across so that I know how far I can go with the heights of these windows. Thanks, Tiz. Most people don't even bother telling me. That's appreciated. Thank you very, very much. Oh, right. So we have a decorative lip at the top. Now, unfortunately, because this is just not going to be the same, I'm not going to worry too much about how that looks. just because it's just not cooperating. Let's just put it that way. 1, 2. Yeah, I will not have enough glass with me, I don't think. See if I can get some of this going up, or the roof line. I mean, at least one thing we can say for this building, whether or not one considers it progress in a big sense, one thing we can say for today's build is that I've got more shape to it, which is notable. We're starting to close in one of these zones. Oops, I don't need that high. Okay. Where's my inverted blocks? Fun. Don't get down. Right direction. There we go. Yay! I've had such problems getting that first corner to go the right way if I'm not facing perfectly the direction I need the blocks to go. See? Sometimes. Yeah, make mistakes by flow. Cover that one? I may seem like I'm being a little bit fussy about materials. I have a bunch, but the thing is, with the materials, I have a bunch, but definitely not enough, so I'm trying to delay as long as possible. Oh, whatever. I'm trying to delay as long as possible a return trip to the desert to do more mining, particularly not on camera. That's just tacky in the extreme. See? I don't keep up a very good conversation while I'm doing it. And frankly, whether I have a digital clock or an analog clock, I would lose track of time either way. So, the more we can do to avoid that, the better. It's funny. The thing about sideways block bridging, whoops, is I tend to fall off things a lot. But can I complete this one is the question. The answer is probably yes today, just because I've talked about it. It's one of those, like, you know, knock on wood, because it's never going to go exactly as planned. As you can see, like, this building is really weird. That corner actually inside the building. Odd. Okay, so how do I do this? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, no, that's fine. I need it to be 15 across the end. And it will be if I can even take out end strip, and I'll be fine. That's good news. That's good news. And besides, it juts out there anyways. If I turn this one strip here into sandstone, I'll be fine. Yay! Okay, can do. Good to know. Now, this strip is a little wide in terms of, like, thick, top to bottom. But once again, I thought if I hit the block in the middle, then top to bottom was too thin. It looked really weird, so... yeah. I think it's kind of funny, as people have said in the past, I have a permit. I have a permit. However, I just have trouble accepting that fact. Okay. This... oh. I have to go back for supplies anyways. Fine. Do I have more glass? Oh. Glass there. There. Oh, none here. Oh, more glass. Yay! Alright. Oh, that's smooth quartz. I don't want that right now. That away, or I'm all mixed up. Smoothports will be back. Alright. In interior corner. Here instead. Oops, count. Yes. 4, and I can't count, I said. Kind of disturbing. Alright. Glass in here, and the walls. Of course, she's out of walls now. Will I ever bring everything? Don't answer that, if you could. Now I've got walls to get. All in. Always need walls. I have stairs. Rough. Hope that'll keep me for a minute or two. But Tiz missed the conversation earlier on. There wasn't much of a conversation. He thought, yes, earlier on about the idea that I'm doing an experiment to see whether or not I react better to an analog clock, or whether I react better in terms of being on time with a digital clock. So how does my perception of time change based on what type of clock I'm looking at? And so far, the running time on this thing is measured in digital. And of course, all computer clocks are digital. My brain's going, what, how much is left? What? But I know I can figure it out, it's just I have to mentally do the math every time. Looking at ways, potentially, of adding an analog clock to the system. Not just the computer system, but also to the programming system. Okay. Center taller by... in between. Looks. Okay then. Remember how odd. Seeing that. Of course you are. Fine, temporary block. Solid block. That will have to do. Back it out right through me. Sides. I'm gonna go with balls on those, I think. That. More paint. You see, I'm still getting used to having free cam because once again, I just jumped off like I was the camera. Not so much. Go away, baby zombie. Yeah, like analog. So filling you in real quick. Repeating everything. Oh, whoops! I don't want that. Wait. Go. So the analog of clocks is I look at them. I don't necessarily recognize what time it is per se. In a concrete like X number of minutes past the hour sense. I mean, I can convert when need be, but my brain doesn't really think about those numbers. They're just not there. Whereas, if I'm doing it for digital clock, I have to know precisely what time it is. Like that's what it says. It says it is precisely this time. And so I always have to do the conversions and the math to figure out how did that happen. Weird. I have to do the conversions all the time to figure out what time it really is. Whereas with the analog clock, I just look at the shape. It's like a big progress bar. If I could get a digital clock that had like a progress bar around the outside, that'd be great. The problem that you usually run into though is if you want something like that, what you're really able to find is usually just the seconds being measured, not the whole like hour and stuff being measured with a progress bar around the outside. Okay, where here? I'm not sure I'm gonna like this. Try just this. Maybe I'll do the stairs thing up here. Oh, yeah. There's the impression of a window, but actually the window. Get the stick in the middle. So it just means that when you're looking at things in sort of a progress format, when you're looking at things in a progress format with the progress timer concept, then you can start to see sort of either the growing of the time past a particular point or the shrinking of the space before it gets around to the hour again. That really works for me, but it wouldn't necessarily work for everybody. I do. I think I just did stairs from. I have to check it again. Balls, stairs in the center. Okay. Come on. This one. This one. Stairs. Here. Apparently I can't do them without falling over. Okay. Newsflash. Odd spot to be. I get this one this side. Maybe. Off. Be kind of not likely. Okay. Let's see where this looks. It does look a little strange, but given that it's an approximation of some little picture, it's actually not horrible. I wish I could have a stripe up between these two ladder wall sections in between. May end up taking them out. This is the way that they worked out. Might actually be better off to go with the ugly sandstone the whole way. The walls are being used to give the impression of an inset. One of those, now that I did it, I don't like it. No. Right, well, another way of looking at it, if over to here's out and interior. Yeah, so basically, because the stream is often run on DST, Delenn Standard Time, meaning Delenn is usually late. Windows are quite inset inside. So I can actually go with a thicker block and it looks better. I'd like to see a direct photo of that side, but I don't get one. Here's to be. If I go with the rougher sandstone, it'll still be okay. Ideal, but it'll do. All right. Yeah. So the concept on that whole digital analog business is really taking a look at the whole thing and how do I perceive the time. And I think part of it is maybe my brain is just lazy. I guess there's that possibility, and I would not be surprised if that was the case. But my brain just does not want to do math every single time. It's a lot easier for me to look. Like, oh, yeah, I get that. That's X amount of time till whatever, or X amount of time passed. And I don't necessarily care specifically whether it's 16 after or 18 after. Just know that the wedge size has shifted. Yeah, that's where my brain is sort of floating outside of Minecraft today. This is all based on a YouTube video that we saw last night. So, I was mentioning that one of the guys I like to follow is a guy who has a couple of different channels, but this one, he's got Technology Connections is his main channel. And this is actually one of his sort of vlog-style musings on his, was it his Connextras? So Technology Connextras channel. It's more of a vlog or blog type of thing of thoughts about the material that he didn't get to cover in the main video, things that might have gotten edited out for time, or things that got edited out because it wasn't a complete thought. Whereas this particular video was the reverse, insofar as this one was a bit more of a test video based on a musing before he gets into doing primary research. If it's a concept he wants to take on during a regular video. I sometimes wonder if the inventors of the digital clocks hadn't really thought about it as well. I mean, it's another way of displaying the time, for sure. But I wonder if they didn't actually have the connection of the gaps, or not gaps, the like progress bar style shapes themselves. I don't know. Maybe they just thought that doing the math was just fine. You know, some people don't get bothered by that. And there's no right or wrong way. The other thing is, some schools, I actually looked it up, some schools have stopped teaching analog clocks. I think it's ridiculous. I know our school taught it and then backed off. So what I mean by that is that they taught it, but then they didn't necessarily enforce it every year. So my daughter's a little uncomfortable with analog clocks. My son's kind of on the fence about both, as in like he's not bad with either one. Okay, this far hole. That was weird. I just noticed from now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. From where I was standing, it looked like a cross, and I don't like that. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, this is a church after all. But it doesn't have the curvature effect I was looking for here. I'm going to leave a hole. I might just want to a slab, I think. And then a couple extra walls. Not ideal, but that's Minecraft for you. Like, I just looked at the clock and on my computer here. And of course, being digital, my brain's like, how much time's left? It actually asked itself a second question, not audibly per se. But I looked at it and went, I have how many minutes left? And I actually figured it out that way. Whereas, you know, the slice would be getting smaller. I'm not looking at an analog clock on my watch right now because I run an Apple Watch, and the Apple Watch has had an OS update available. Well, actually, the clock itself, or Apple, had an OS update available. So the watch is sitting on a charging unit right now, rather than on my wrist. That just allows me to get that part all tweaked and hunky-dory for when I go and update it. I really should have done this from the inside, not the outside. Take out this one, the walls, 1, 2. Where did that last piece go? Still can't put in the window. Ugh. Even dumber. Okay, well, we'll do it this one. Solid. Solid. Sure. Did that. Enough. Okay. Is there anything else I can start in the last 5 minutes that I like? We've got the outside, we've got... I'm not going to do a ton of deco on the inside right now. Let's start moving on to the next wall. I have... Oh, I know what I was looking for at one point. Stairs. I should probably eat so I can run better. That would be, you know, simple. Bad enough that I don't fly as much as I could. But even being pokey on the running is a little silly. That'll be the corner I don't know what it is. Right. So let's get ourselves a good view for now and see if we can find one more picture. A lot of stuff from the interior that I won't be putting in. And one more exterior shot before we're out of here. Wrong part of exterior. Back to just at the end of the building. I need to focus a bit on the corner. Close this one. Pull this way over here. Whoa, whoops. Again. And way over. Because once I get that done, then I can build the arch line for the secondary roof. So then, Tiz, that does make me wonder, then for you, do analog clocks work better then for that same sort of reason, where sometimes you don't need to know exactly what the seconds or minutes are, but that you can look at the shapes and the sizes changing? I mean, then you can worry about the hour. You have one hand pointing to one thing. You don't have to worry about whether it's a 3 or an 8, depending on your digital font, or sometimes if you get the wrong angle on a digital clock, particularly the older ones, like bedside older clocks, sometimes it can look like part of the digital part is lit up when it's not. The other one I used to hate actually is some of the older digital clocks also have the diagonal line for a strike through of a 0. I have no idea why they bothered. And there was one clock my grandmother used to have up in her trailer, pardon me, where it was like digital crystal kind of thing. But what it would do is it would have strike through on the minutes part of the 0, but not on the hours. So it would be like, if you were to say like, 10:30, the 0 in the 10 would not be changed, but the 0 in the 30 would have strike-through line. Like, I don't get it. Why? Did not make any sense to me. Okay. So the line I'm standing on here will all be stairs, but not of the sandstone variety. It'll be of the roofing material. And that's another where I need to look at the inside to see what that part looks like. Fill in. I think the best guess I'm going to make is to go with, raise this to approximately the height of whatever that is. Take it down and do it differently.
Hello?
Hello, Zip. Thank you very, very much for your gift. I have wisely chosen I took one block out of your moss gift and left the other 7 sitting there just in case I make the same stupid mistake again. I really appreciate that. That was very, very helpful. Okay, 1, 2. But what I'm just looking for here is just enough that I can put the line in for the for some of the wall in behind. I think we're just looking at this. Wait, almost. Okay, just for curiosity's sake, do analog clocks seem to be more, I guess, for lack of a better term, more your speed? Do those seem to work better for you, or is it still digital clock or die kind of thing? Just a pure curiosity, I suppose. I think what I'm gonna do. Oh, I don't have dirt. I do utterly some grass and some other stuff. I'm going to try and a ridge line over here, just so I could Oh, come on. Really? Just so I can kind of line up the roof on both sides? Hello? I'd like to actually build a backwards bridge, please? As I said, one of these days I'll organize some sneaky pants, but it has not happened so far. Okay, so that says I'm too high. Hi. Use both? Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But if you have both versions available, you'll choose the analog over the digital. I do the same thing. So, when it comes to digital, like, if I'm not going to be doing the math on how big the sort of mental wedge is, I actually do that also make a little mental wedge in my head. But if I'm not going to be bothering to do the math, when I look at a digital clock, it's sort of a binary, is it time yet? Yes or no. Not time yet, then I'm not too fussed. But that's as far as it gets. I don't really conceptualize how much time is left. The other problem, though, I find that I do, and shame on me for doing it, is that I will look at digital time. If I'm late, I start to panic. With analog time, if I'm late, I kind of go, oh, well, you know, I can see that I'm only that little bit late. It's only a little past the time. And that can get me into all kinds of trouble. So, I mean, it becomes a bit of a 6 of one, half dozen of the other. But so part of the experiment I'm running right now is to see, does that little bit of difference help me not be permanently as late, I guess? The wall. Good. Yeah. That's what she wrote. Whatever. But we have run ourselves over time, so I'm just going to stand up here, not because I can. There. We can see we've made some progress today. Got the end wall going. Got the opposite side looking a little bit more snazzy. Not much, but it looks a bit better than it used to. Apparently I'm going to have some interesting adventures getting down off the building. I don't see a captain. Oh, there he is. Dang it. So this building over here, if you guys can see, it kind of looks like a book. That building is my Trader Hall library, / everything else. And I really don't think I'm close enough to have a problem, but I'm not sure, and my milk's in my ender chest. So yeah, could be fun. I'll just let them wander away as much as I can. In the distance you don't see here, but on the other side, there is... I can fly over there. Oh, it's not going to render. Okay. Out in this direction, I actually have a really small raid farm, which was based on a pillager outpost, so you can see that they are quite close to home, so to speak. I want to stay over there. I'm not going to bother with them. Alright, so, where are we here today? Oh, this isn't going to show up well on the screen anyways, but, let's go. Okay, so, here's where we are. Next stream tomorrow, I don't know yet what it's going to be. It's a Whatever Wednesday. The Whatever Wednesdays are designed to be a break between my 2 major Minecraft sessions, so like more normal stuff like this. But that said, that it could be escape room, or it could be escape simulator. It could be the room. That might be. I might hold that off more to an evening slot. We'll see. Or it could be Minecraft bingo. So we'll see where my head's at when I get up tomorrow, and just where we're going to be. So I do apologize that I won't be able to pre-announce what it's going to be, but it's definitely different than here. And otherwise, I shall see you guys on Thursday. so let's just see if my buttons actually work today. Next stream. Properly? Yeah, sort of. It's on the white, so apologies, I'll have to put a shadow on that. You'll see there in the chat, the next stream is apparently scheduled whatever the 9th is. Nope, 13th. That would be today. That's really weird. So I have to take a look at why that code went all screwball. But in any case, I'll be back on Thursday, same slot, so noon to 2 Eastern, even though it shows in there as Mountain Time, which is 10 to noon. But yeah, that's where we're at. So what we're going to do is we are going to find who's live. We're probably going to head over to Groova today. He appears to be doing Minecraft, whereas the other ones I'm following are not right now. And then we'll say our thank yous and head on out. Alrighty. Let's go to this one. Thank you to everybody for watching. If you have access, then you can always use the emotes that are showing on the screen there with the raid hype. If not, feel free to use the global emotes below or any emotes you like. Give Groova our best, and we hope everything goes well. Thanks, as always, to Fantastic Sherlock Fox, and to our visitors, Tiz for Truth and Ziptuous. I really appreciate you guys had the time to drop by today. Thank you also to any lurkers that chose to hang out for the day. And as I said, give our best to Groova, and I will be over shortly. Bye-bye for now.
Transfer complete.